Hello and welcome to my cervical cancer journey, part 11. I'm a little tired today, so I've had a big couple of days, so just bear with me if I lose track a little bit. So we had just landed in Australia. Perth was amazing, absolutely loved it. It was so good to be reunited with heaps of our friends and meet new friends, make our own new community. It's feeling pretty good actually. It's feeling pretty good. Still on a buzz from South America and everything that happened there, but we needed to get work. Arriving in Perth is not the advisory in winter. Work dries up. We really struggled to find work. So after doing a few stints on markets and in cafes and bits and bobs, I went off to do my farm work. So we was working on a chicken farm about 4 or 5 hours away from Perth, very close to Wave Rock actually. And I was enjoying it at first, thought it was pretty cool, you know. I was like Aussie bush, I was playing with the chickens and the llamas, the alpacas, but there was only one other girl with me, and it was very isolating. Couldn't get a phone signal there, and there was no internet, even though I think we'd been promised it. There wasn't any internet, so I'd just gone from like being with my partner at the time every day to then being reunited with all our friends, and then till now I was like on my own. Not that I'm not good on my own, like I am these days, I'm real good, but it was just very isolating and I had too much time to think. Not only that, I'd started to get real sick. I was being sick a lot, like, and yeah, I'd been drinking a lot in South America, but like it didn't matter if I had one drink or 10, I was very, very sick. Anyway, my sister came and rescued me from the farm, and that was just the best. Like, that was just absolute best. Like, because we were supposed to go to Australia originally at the same time, so now we'd finally made it happen. And got back to Perth and started getting work on and off with traffic control companies. Got my traffic control ticket, obviously, and yeah. Started getting lots of work with them, but still not enough, and it was still very irregular. But it was okay because we was enjoying sort of travelling around and just getting to know Perth and playing tourists, and any other extra time I'd actually started making cards. Everybody back home was having babies. Everybody, all my friends were having babies. Like, family was having babies, so I was I handmade all individual cards for all the little ones. I'm not going to post pictures because there's the little ones, but yeah, so that was cool. But I was due my checkup, so I knew it wasn't going to be as difficult as the checkup was going to be finding in Peru, but I couldn't believe how amazing the Australian health system was. So I think the first protocol was like a female clinic, and straight away they worked out what was wrong with me with this sickness, and they pulled me off my HRT, which I was a bit hesitant at because it had been making me feel so good. But apparently that particular HRT, because it was a pill form, was really bad for my liver, especially as a young person, and especially because I'd just been like partying for the last year pretty much around South America. So they pulled me off it and they put me on these patches, and they was working great, but they used to make me itch till I bled. But I thought I'd see it out for now. They was very thorough with me, and they wasn't happy with, well, not wasn't happy, that was worded kind of wrong. They wanted to do a bit more of a thorough check than what I had been having. I don't know if you remember me saying I was going to be removed off the cervical screening program in the UK, and that scared me a bit. Well, the Australian health system didn't want to do that. They wanted me back in the program, and I was actually quite happy about that because I felt like more looked after. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong, just things was done differently. And yeah, so I was booked in to go to a vault sphere. It felt very thorough. Again, I asked heaps of questions on websites for Australian cervical cancer people and stuff like that. But my results come back abnormal. So here we go again. So that just opened a whole world of trauma. I just landed a full-time job as well, my first full construction job that I absolutely loved, and now I was like back in the hospitals again. I just felt like I couldn't catch a break. So they sent me for another colposcopy. There's two different kinds. They sent me for the colposcopy, not the colonoscopy. The colposcopy. And I was a mess. I was absolutely terrified. I was just like, how is this even happening? Like, I've just like sorted myself out pretty much, and now we're here again. Like, great. I can't really remember much about it, just other than I was very scared and I was very over it. It turned out that it was HPV rearing its head. I don't really know what that means, but I actually had to search what my results were from that, because I couldn't remember. And I was getting cysts on my ovaries again. Surprise, surprise. I tell you, still happening now. So they wasn't going to really do anything about that. I think they took some away then. I could be wrong, I can't remember. But they just wanted me back on regular checks and back in the system again. So obviously I was a working holiday visa, so I was going to be going back to England. So they would write to my doctor in England, and etc, etc. So I went back to work, but I loved work, absolutely loved it, but I was hitting the booze hard. I was on the beers every night. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, lots of people do that, but I was being reckless. I pretty much destroyed my relationship. We did end up booking Thailand for Christmas that year, and we was going to meet all our friends from, well, not all of our friends, 10 boys from home, and surprise another couple as well. So that was good, but Thailand was amazing. We had the best time. Spent 6 or 7 weeks there, caught up with loads of crew. But again, it was absolute chaos, absolute carnage. I definitely spiraled even more. I came back and I went to work and carried on spiraling. And before we knew it, visa time was up and I'd got to go home and face the music. And I was just like, whatever I did at the end of South America, I feel like I'd kind of undone. I'd had the best time in Australia, don't get me wrong, like the best time in Perth, but I'd like proper took it out on myself, I think. So I was like, had I just unfixed everything I thought I'd fixed? So as much as I loved home, I wasn't really ready, because my mind was everywhere. And I was still got this uncertainty of my health over me, and I was still not very well. So off home we went, and that's it for today. So please remember to get your checks. If you are struggling with something, don't spiral like I did. Maybe check in with somebody. Take care.